Joel Embiid, again, is still being monitored by the Knicks. Reports have come out from every single news station that you can imagine. ESPN, Adrian Wojnarowski, who again works for ESPN, Twitter, Facebook, any social media app you're on right now, Joel Embiid to the Knicks seems like a realistic possibility. But is it really realistic? From Joel Embiid, who's on the 76ers, by the way, that's a division rival, would they really trade to the New York Knicks, a team they're going to have to see each and every single season for multiple games? I don't know. We're going to break this down and so many other reports about this today. Let's go. Joel Embiid to the Knicks has been a story since the 76ers were eliminated from the playoffs. And now it's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger to the point now we're hearing stories from actual news outlets reporting about hope and dreams and fairy tales and fantasies about Joel Embiid potentially coming to the New York Knicks. But there are no legs to this story. And that's according to Mark Stein, who basically said straight out, Joel Embiid to the Knicks is a great fantasy. New York would love to have it. It's just not going to happen. There's no legs to it. Joel Embiid did not ask for a trade, not requested any type of trade. He hasn't said anything to management. He loves Philly. He loves the fans. Nothing indicates as of right now that they're going to get rid of Embiid or trade him. He just won MVP, so you got to factor that in. Not to mention they just fired Doc Rivers, hired Nick Nurse. So Nick Nurse is at least going to get 1 year with Joel, Maxey, and maybe Harden. We'll see what happens there. But he at least gets another year. So these Joel Embiid to the Knicks stories have to stop. You're driving me freaking crazy. Stop. He's a division rival. They're not trading the MVP of the league to a division rival in the New York Knicks for anything. And if they did, could you imagine what the assets would be? We would gut our team, clean house to pair who? Jalen Brunson, Joel Embiid, and 15 bench players? It's not gonna work. We gotta be more realistic in this. We cannot think that doing a Joel Embiid massive move is gonna solve our problems. Jude, it's making me sick because each time I turn on my TV, I see another Joel Embiid to the Knicks story. They gotta be stopped, Jude.
I mean, honestly, I'm a little upset at you that you're even bringing this up for us to have to discuss as a topic. There's not much meat left on the bone. You pretty much said it all. Like, this is a fairy tale, and this is kind of the Knicks story, right? What was it? KD and Kyrie. And before that, it was Giannis. And now we're here at Joel Embiid. The only, you know me, I like to play a little devil's advocate and, ponder the reality of things. So let's think about a world in which there is some traction to this story. Joel Embiid, new coach and Nick Nurse, are they going to get Harden back? I feel like, I'm not saying the Knicks are definitely going to get Embiid or anything like that. Honestly, I'm a little frustrated even having to talk about it. I'm as sick as you are about hearing this story, just knowing that it's all speculation and it's not coming from anyone that you would want it to come from. If it's somebody from Philadelphia who's a beat writer for Philadelphia, who's a team, who's on the team, who's on the staff, if somebody like that is saying there's rumblings about Embiid coming to New York, okay, but we're just here talking about something that somebody saw one day randomly on Reddit probably, and they're making a story out of it. But I digress. Let's play devil's advocate. If Harden doesn't come back and it's like, oh man, I was just saying how we need help, and you lose Harden, and let's say you don't add anybody, who is there going to be in this free agent class really that Philadelphia can add that's going to make Embiid say, you know what, this guy right here is exactly who I had in mind that's going to help us get over the hump? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's anybody that's going to make that much of a significance for them in this free agent class, right? So if you look at it through that lens, it's like, yeah, maybe he would be open to a trade, right? But you nailed it. Like, congratulations, you got it exactly right. It's a division rival. I don't know any team that's going to willingly say, hey, you know what? You don't want to be here? Let's send you to the team that we're going to play however many times a year so you can torch us just off the strength of the bad blood that we have between us, right? So even when I'm here playing devil's advocate, It's like, as much as I would like to sell a situation where we get Embiid, I would love it. I am going to say that. I would love it. It's just not going to happen. And then again, just like you said, like, what are we going to do to get him? Like, what are we giving up, right? It's Embiid. He just won an MVP, so the demand is going to be crazy for him. Absolutely, you're not going to sit there and say, yeah, we'll give you Julius Randle, some bench players, and call it a day. You're going to have to give up Randle. You're probably going to give up Obi. And then they're gonna go for it. They're gonna go for it all. They're gonna say, you know what, we want Quickly, we want Grimes. And then you're probably not gonna give all three of those pieces, but you're gonna think about 2 out of the 3. And it doesn't end there. We want draft picks on top of that. Not just your first. We want your first this year, maybe a couple swaps. Maybe we want another first a couple years further down, right? And honestly, it's a big price tag, but this is the reigning MVP. I'm gonna go ahead and say, no, don't do this, Knicks. He's a big man. He's in his prime right now. But big men, they don't have a long, lengthy era in their prime, right? And Embiid is already always injured, always with the leg injuries. This is not something that was, just here and we're going to get past it. This is a sign of what it's going to be, and it's just going to become more and more frequent. I hope I'm wrong because he's a great player. I don't want to see him take that path, but it's just the unfortunate reality of a big man in the NBA.
But he's already been injured, right? He already had a grade, I forget what, a really bad grade, something A or some whatever sprain on his knee. Couldn't really play during the playoffs. They didn't think he was even come back for the playoffs. So there's a lot of mystery around him. He's always had some type of injury concern about him. So it's not like he's ever been healthy. This is his best year in terms of how he's played because you could make the argument though, he could have won MVP these other few years. It actually looks really weird because Joker winning the MVP the last few years made sense because, what he did. But you can make the argument Joel deserved it just as much. This year, though, I think it's actually pretty crazy that he won it. But I feel like Joker absolutely deserves it more. And I think I'm only saying that because Joker's still playing. Like, I'm actively seeing Joker play.
You're not wrong.
But he's doing amazing things, though. I mean, he seems like the best, not even the best center, because that's obvious. The best player in the NBA. He seems like he's that guy.
He is that guy. Like, as much as it's played out in cliche at this point, Joker is him. Like, watching the finals, more than just the finals, but just like, he doesn't give you a chance to forget how good of a basketball player he is, right? So you watch the finals and it's like, if you look at it, I know I'm not the only person that do that. You go to any rec league and you just look at the guys. You're looking at that one chubby guy and you're like, I don't know. I don't really want him. That's Joker, which is really what makes it so mind-blowing because you look at him and you're like, there's not an athletic speck in this human right here. And he's literally the greatest basketball player on the court at all times. The things he does with the basketball, unbelievable, especially for a big man. Especially for a big man that looks like he does, right? So it's crazy what he can do. But to the point, though, I think the only reason really that they gave it to Joker, gave it to Embiid, is because Joker won it the last 2 years, and they're like, we need to give it to this guy before he doesn't have another chance of getting it. So many people are saying that he deserves it. And then there was a little bit of, hype about it, about like, oh, I don't think he's the type of player that deserves to win it 3 years in a row. I feel like that might have been a little added fuel for Joker on this playoff run. Like, why are people telling me that I don't deserve it 3 years in a row? Did you not see what I've done these past years? Do you not see what I'm doing right now? You know what? Let me kick it up a notch and show you what I'm capable of. And he drops, 30, 20, 10? First player to ever do it in the finals. That man is an MVP. Not taking anything away from Embiid because he also had a great season. But it was definitely a close race, and it was non-basketball reasons, in my opinion, that led to Embiid getting that trophy more so than anybody saying, oh yeah, Embiid is way better than Joker this season. It's close, but I would still say Joker is just the better player. He does just so much more, and to the point that we were making before, his availability is just way more. Misses way less games than Embiid. Yes, it's something that's out of your control, but it's an age-old saying that's tested and true. The best ability is availability.
Joker's game is never going to age. It's like Tim Duncan in a way. He plays so... He's not athletic or anything like that. The reason he's so good is because what's up here. His basketball IQ is genius level. It's like probably past LeBron. if I had to say it, because and LeBron is like a savant when it comes to basketball. So imagine.
That's why you see my face over here, like, ooh,
Listen, I'm saying, and this is the reason why I say it. My man Joker in game 1 with the Heat in quarter 1 had 0 points and 7 assists.
And what he finished with, like, no, he finished with
he had triple double. He ended that game with triple double.
Was it 41 on that night though?
Yeah.
Or was it game 2?
I don't know. I forget the. I think it was game 2 you're thinking about, but all I know is for game 1, when I saw that, no, he shocked me to my core. But it told me those are superstar moves, right? So he doesn't care about getting a point. He just cares about winning. That's the attitude that you need when you are coming to a franchise.
For sure.
That's changing the entire franchise direction type of attitude. Jalen Brunson was a very good cog in that. He did that. Joel Embiid would be that same type. Not only because of his charisma, but also Randall needs somebody to respect to take a step back if he's still going to be part of the team. And if that happens, let's just say it happens or we get lucky and that happens, or I don't know if you want to call it luck if you're stuck with Randall, but you keep Randall, then you get Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is obvious the number 1. Jalen Brunson is obvious the number 2. Randall has to be number 3. So I think in that situation, that's how you get your wish if that's what you wanted. But fantasy, dream, matrix.
Not happening.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Never, ever, ever. Ever, 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 never, ever.
But
it's not happening.
We've been here before. We know it. You know, we like to dream and think about the nice things that we can get without, thinking about the reality of if we're gonna get it.
Yeah, I took my VR headsets off already. I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to see another report about Joel Embiid to the goddamn Knicks again.
You do.
No, I don't.
You do
No,
want to. Because we're talking about this right here, right now, because you want to bring it up and talk about it.
They want to bring it up. They make it relevant. I don't make it relevant.
Now you're a man of the people and you want to give the people what they want. You know what? I admire
They don't want
that.
this. Nobody wants this because it doesn't exist. It's not real. It's crypto.
But
it's crypto.
They want to hear about it. They want to talk about the possibilities and the ifs, ands, and maybes of Embiid coming to New York. And really, 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 please, let's just let it pass. It's not going to happen, okay? Let's just leave it at that. I really sincerely hope that, I have this thing where I say it and then the opposite happens. So I would love for that to happen, but I think this will be one in a rare case where exactly what I say is going to come to fruition. He's going to be playing in Philly next year. We're going to sign some guys that might make us a little bit better or who are similar to the guys that we have now, but there's not going to be a splash addition in the likes of Joel Embiid happening anytime soon. Let's just leave it where it's at. No further questions, please. Please don't. Please. The next time you bring a Joel Embiid coming to the Knicks up, I promise you I'll just go ahead and turn this off. You can go ahead and do a solo video. All right, buddy?
It's not me.
It's you.
It's the media that's causing all of this. All right? And I'm just trying to break it down for everybody so they don't suffer like I'm suffering. Okay?
I mean, you know what?
Let me just quote the great Mark Stein again. Joel Embiid to the Knicks has no legs to it. Drop it. Leave it alone. One mic. Boom. Gone. Stop. Done. No more. Thank you.
One can hope, though.
What is he doing?
One can. I'm just saying.
What are you doing?
One can hope. Though.
What are you saying?
I've just realized I never really sat down and thought about, like how good of a team we would be if we had an MVP.
What team would you have? Please tell me who you got. Who? The janitors and Joel and Jalen?
Listen, Randall score a nice little 20 a game. Brunson 25. Embiid give us that 30 you was given last season.
And the janitors? What are they?
The janitors, listen, man, if each of them can pitch in for 5 points a game, that's a squad.
They janitors.
Squad. 5 points a game. Squad. I'll take it.
10th seed.
With 3 superstars? Nah, come on, man. We'll sneak into the
Okay, my bad.
We'll sneak into the play. Did I just say superstars?
Who else has some superstars on their team? Isn't Vucevic a superstar? Isn't DeMar DeRozan a superstar? Isn't Zach LaVine a superstar?
Vucevic is not a superstar.
Oh yeah, where?
Vucevic is not a superstar.
One in Orlando.
Come on.
One in Orlando.
He's not in Orlando now.
All-star.
He's not putting up those Orlando numbers now.
You just said three All-Stars.
Past his
three
prime.
All-Stars.
3 current All-Stars.
DeMar DeRozan was MVP caliber last year.
In stretches, not consistently, not over the whole season.
He was up for MVP that year though.
Last year
he was in consideration.
Where did he finish in voting? Not top 5.
I don't remember. Fourth.
No,
something like that.
No,
Weird number.
Fourth.
Some weird thing.
It wasn't fourth.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
It was Joker. It was Tatum. It was Giannis.
Well, maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was the year before.
Maybe the year before.
Whatever
Definitely not last
Lonzo
year.
was at.
Definitely not.
Last year, Lonzo had played. Probably 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, Lonzo hasn't played in forever. Yeah. Definitely not last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
See
how long it's been? Though? It's weird. But see, that's the stars though. They still have stars. And I'm just mentioning the Bulls because they got Zach LaVine and the New York Knicks just said and rumored just in case it does happen and the Bulls want to blow up their roster. They might go knocking.
You love you some speculation. You love you some speculation, man. You like setting yourself up for disappointment.
They speculate. I'm reporting.
You just like repeating it.
Reporting the news.
You just like reporting it, huh?
I'm reporting the news.
I don't know.
The news.
It sounded like you believe
it. Is this not
it.
the Knicks Digest? Are we supposed to report the Knicks news?
It's not news if it's not real.
That's a news.
It's not news if it's not real, is it?
And why are we talking about Joel Embiid?
Because you wanted to talk about Joel Embiid.
It wasn't me.
It was you. I saw the glimmer in your eye when you mentioned it. But
There's
you know what?
It's hate and darkness.
if there is a chance to get LaVine, like I'm not opposed to that at all. Especially if we could I don't want to say get rid of RJ. It's not. I don't have hate for RJ.
If you swing for LaVine, RJ's gone.
And
you know that.
I just want to. I just want to give the flowers, right? Feel me? Like RJ, I myself have piled onto RJ a lot, but I'm just here to say he's not the worst player. I'm not ready to trade him for a bag of chips. But if we can trade him and maybe very minimal else for Zach LaVine, absolutely, 100 times over, I'm taking that trade. That's all.
Man, oh man.
Just to put that out there.
So the injury concerns don't scare you, okay?
About LaVine?
The fact that he hasn't led the Bulls or Minnesota anywhere, that don't scare you, okay? The fact that he's been the centerpiece of the Bulls don't scare you.
He's not coming here to be a centerpiece. He's coming here to be a guy. Hey, don't worry about being.
What do you mean? What's the trade for LaVine then? What's the trade?
We're keeping Randall. We're keeping Brunson. We're get rid of RJ and throw him
right quickly too.
Can we swing Grimes?
Zach LaVine is their superstar. He may not be a superstar, but he's their superstar.
I feel better.
They're going to be treated that way.
I feel better giving away a Grimes than I do giving away a Quickly in a trade like that.
And they feel better asking for Quickly. I promise you.
I am high on LaVine. I don't think he's here. Take RJ and Quickly good. That's definitely enough.
RJ, Quickly, and 3 or 4 unprotected picks. I guarantee it.
No.
They consider him a star.
No. That's
they
nice.
are
That's
even
nice.
saying that they want to build. Reports have come out, Jude, that they want to build around LaVine if they can. Now, obviously, anything can. The temperature in the NBA is just like in New York. It could be 40 and then it could be 100. It changes, right? That's the temperature of the league. So the Bulls can think they could blow it up tomorrow, or they could keep that projection of building around LaVine. But they believe he's a star.
Every NBA team is going to put the news out there that, we think this player is all-star caliber and we're looking to build around him. Nobody's going to say, this guy's okay, he's decent. You're going to amp up your players all the time to try and get the max value of them. I think if you're an NBA GM and you're actually seriously considering a trade where it's LaVine for 3 of your players, including one of your best players, and a handful of draft picks and draft swaps, you should not be a GM. Like, point blank period. High on LaVine, you got to be able to set your value level, and that's way above his value level. Like, absolutely.
So what is it then? What are you trading? Because I don't think you have I don't think you have a real expectation of what you would take to get him.
I have a real expectation.
Because I think you think it's RJ and 2 first rounds. It's not going to do it. That's not going to be enough.
I wouldn't even give 2 first rounds. I'd give RJ and a Grimes, maybe 1 first round pick and a pick swap.
Who are you getting?
That's the
Beverly?
max. That's the
you're
max.
You're not getting Zach LaVine.
Max. That's the max. Listen,
for
LaVine is LaVine. You just said it. LaVine is not your 1A guy. He's not your go-to guy.
Not,
DeMar DeRozan outshines
like
him
that.
night in and night out. That's nice. They're supposed to.
So you would give a package like that for DeMar?
I wouldn't give it for DeMar. DeMar's a little bit too old. I wouldn't give that for DeMar.
Okay, so LaVine fits the timeline, right?
Not at the price you said. Absolutely not. Yes, the Bulls
But
are gonna.
that's what you're gonna have to give
That's
up.
nice.
I hope you know that.
That is nice. Great, but that's what you're gonna come to. That's your first offer or your first expectation, right? And then we're gonna negotiate from there because in no world am I gonna give you that. Of course you're gonna give me a high price. You want to see what you can get away with. No, you're not gonna get it. I highly doubt there's a team out there that's
Will
like,
another team give you a better deal than RJ, Grimes, and a first round pick? Will another team give you better for LaVine? If the answer is yes, then you lost. That's the point. You got to get the best trade package.
There's not a ton of teams that's going to be out there like, yes, we want to line up for the services of Zach LaVine, just like you said, who hasn't quite done anything as a main guy on any teams. There's not going to be a team lining up.
He won't be a main guy if he goes to a certain team.
You're not going to give him main guy assets for him to come and be a number 2 or number 3 on your team. Mm-hmm.
So you do agree that the assets would have to be for a main guy. That's what I'm trying to say. He may not be a main guy, but you're going to have to give up main guy assets for LaVine.
You do not have to give up main guy assets
we don't
for
have
non-main
to,
guy.
but if you're going to trade for him, that's what the realistic trade's going to be. You do know what Rudy Gobert just went for, right?
That is
when
the
he broke
worst.
the trade market,
No. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. That's one of the worst
we
trades.
Have to bring that up.
No, you don't.
Market.
No, you don't. That's one of the worst trades of all time. Pretty much
And
everyone has
market.
already said that. You can't look at that as, oh, this resetted the market. You look at it as that's an outlier.
What's the
and
current
those
trade?
guys got fleeced. That's what you look at it as.
What's the current value then for an all-star for a trade? Because one first round pick, not even for a star, is going to get you anything. They just traded a first round pick for Josh Hart.
A budding star.
You think one first round pick's going to get you Zach LaVine?
A budding star. A bench player with potential to be way more than that. Young guys on very team-friendly contracts. And a draft pick and a possible pick swap. I already laid it out for you. That's the
for
ceiling.
Patrick Beverly. Great. I don't want him.
Nah, you're a Knicks fan, so I don't want to say that to you. But if you ever go and GM for a team that's not the Knicks, you can go sign Patrick Beverly for that. You can go and give up half your team for Zach LaVine.
That may not. I'm being a little bit outrageous here, but that essentially, you are being crazy outrageous. If you think a first round pick and a pick swap is gonna get you Zach LaVine.
You said RJ quickly multiple first round picks and multiple draft swaps.
That's realistic, Jude. That's realistic. That's a realistic trade. All right, you just want to play fairy tale too. I didn't know he played GM on the phone today.
No. That's not fairy tale. That's come on, man.
If you're a GM, you're not star.
If you're a GM,
you're not even getting a star for that amount. You're not even getting a star.
Listen, if you're a GM and that's the offer that's presented in front of you, all I'm saying, say no, because that's not a good trade for LaVine. I'm sorry. What can you do for me? He's a scorer. He's not a great defender. Not really good
name the best wings name the top 5 best wings in the league on the East.
In the East, Tatum.
Yep.
I'm like, I kind of want to throw Julius in there, but I can't really throw Julius in there. Just
not a damn wing. Mikal Bridges is there, obviously.
Mikal Bridges, yeah. This is wow. You said it, and I was like, oh, I can do that, but now it's kind of seeming a lot tougher. Especially if you limit it to just the East.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lack
is LaVine there at all?
Just because there's a lack of talent doesn't mean that,
I'm just saying, is LaVine there or not?
It paints a better light on you. It might be by default. You just sprung this on me. You just sprung this on me,
I didn't spring nothing on you.
You just sprung this on me. You just sprung this on me.
Put it in perspective.
Come on.
It's perspective.
I need to literally go down the list and see who's on and think about who's on. I'm sure there are players that I'm forgetting who deserve to be on that list.
Probably is.
Who's the All-Star? Who's on the All-Star team this year?
You also could say Jaylen Brown. He plays the 3.
Yeah, he's more a 2 guy to me. He's not really a 3.
He does play the 3. He switches a lot.
But he's more of a 2 in my opinion. I guess by default, yeah, you'd put LaVine up there, I guess. But
cool. Tobias Harris is another one. See what I'm saying? But that's what you got.
I feel like you're making the point for me at that point, because if you're throwing Tobias Harris in the top 5, it just further proves that there's not that much talented wings.
All right.
In
how about
the
this
East.
point? How about this point? That means. How about that? How about another point? Is that means that there are not a lot of wings with that much talent.
That's literally what I just said. Yes.
Okay. So that means that when you look for wings and you find one with talent, you have to pay for that talent.
I guess
you know the wing position is the most coveted position in the NBA.
For sure, but
you're gonna pay for that position.
There's no rule out there that says if you don't have a good wing, then you're not going to be successful. So I'm not here. I'm not here to overpay just to get a pretty good wing. I'm not going to overpay just to get him. No. If we can get him at a deal that makes sense, absolutely.
You don't have a deal that makes sense.
You want to be the Knicks of old and give up all of your assets for this one?
No, I don't want to trade for LaVine.
Then what are we arguing here? Like, come on.
I'm arguing your value. The thing that you think that would get a trade done is incorrect. You can't get a trade done with that amount. Not for LaVine. How can you think that RJ, Grimes, a pick swap, and a first-round pick is enough to get LaVine?
I think it's enough.
End the show.
I think it's
enough. End the show. End the show. Please end the show. I'm done.
We're going to agree to disagree.
Done.
We're going to agree
There's
to disagree.
There's no agree to disagree.
We're
it's
going to
disagree to disagree. That's where we're at.
Great.
Okay?
Because you're going to give him your kidney to get him to the Knicks. And you know what? I appreciate
No, I'm not. I don't want him on the Knicks.
I appreciate you making that sacrifice, buddy. You took one for the team. Literally.
Listen. We straight off a huge tangent here. We went into Joel Embiid and then some other free agents. Let's just go back to the Joel Embiid thing so we can just wrap a bow in this. Because it's going to be a real quick bow.
See, you love talking about Embiid.
Joel Embiid is not going to be a Knick. It's over. It's done with. Period. No ... Finished.
It is fun to think about, though. I digress. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. That's all we got for you today. Please, as always, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about it. But for now, I'm Jude.
I'm Troy.
He forgot who he was for a second. We're going to see you on the next one. This has been Knicks Digest.